Today, we're going to show you how to install the brand new TR87 Rear Wing on your G87. Before we get started, we're going to show you exactly what you can expect inside your TR87 box. As you can see, very nicely branded TRE box. We'll get rid of that. And inside, straight away, we can see here the wing blade. Right, let's get rid of the box. Done. Right, let's have a little look at this wing again then in a bit more detail. So this is a very lightweight pre-preg carbon fibre wing. It's been designed specifically for the G87 M2. You can see it has because of the little design features we've included. So this here lines up with sort of the double bubble on the roof. Along the side here you've got these end plates that actually have an extended sort of rake on the end, and the whole reason we included that was to sort of follow the very wide hips that come with the M2. You'll also notice sort of how angular these end plates are. Now this is number one to carry on the design philosophy from the actual car. Then also this end plate on the end of the wing here matches all of the winglets that come with the rest of the TR87 kit, which is a really nice touch. This is just under 2 kilos, which is very, very light for a piece of this size. And of course, very, very strong as well. You've got no sort of flexibility in that whatsoever. Moving on from the wing, we've got the hardware kit that comes with it. So one of the things you don't see here is actually the install fitment guide, which is just a A1 sheet of paper that comes. It's going to help whoever is going to be professional installers for you, whatever garage is going to be installing it. It will help them get it all lined up perfectly. The things you do see here are number one, the legs. So these are the legs that the wing sits on top of and attach straight into the boot lid. You've got a couple of notable features on here. You've got the branding on the side that shows whether it's the road or the track setting, and obviously your TRE branding as well. By having these two settings, it just means that the wing can adjust based on how you're going to be using the car. The track setting is very nicely raked. The road setting is a little bit more flat and creates a little bit less drag. Now in terms of the hardware, we've got all the bolts needed to install. These are your bolts to install these brackets to the leg to the wing. You've then got the bolts that allow the adjustment, so they go here, and that's what attaches the brackets from the wing to the leg. Now we know what's in the box, let's have a quick look at the tools you're going to need to install your rear wing. So tools you need, we've got the trim removal tool to remove the boot liner, a hole punch tool, also a hammer that you're going to need with that, a drill bit to actually physically drill the hole that you need. We also have a hole saw here, which is for the secondary liner in the boot lid. I've got a small 8mm ratchet, and you also need a hole widener. We then have a T25 and T30 Torx bit. We then have a 15mm socket, and then a ratchet and an extension as well. So one step we're not going to be showing you today is the removal of the OEM spoiler. We actually previously removed this a couple of weeks ago as we were going to be putting a spoiler on the car, but either way, we have a number of tutorials on the channel that can show you how to remove that spoiler. First step is basically verifying the templates are all good, and the way that we do that is by actually constructing the wing basically fully together, which is installing the wing legs, the brackets, all of that stuff, so the wing essentially looks like it's ready to go on the car. So one thing to notice about these brackets is that they do come in pairs, and they are directional. So you'll notice very slightly there's a slant on one edge, and that edge needs to be facing towards the front of the wing. So the slant side towards the way I'm facing at the moment. So next step's going to be getting the actual wing legs attached to the wing itself. So it's just going to be a couple of screws, which Car's going to do now.
So you want to just grab the wing leg and just slot it between the two brackets like that. For now, we're just going to set it on the road setting. Just getting the long T25 bolts now, just push them straight through like that. So next, just repeat the same process on the other side. At the moment, we're just sort of tightening everything by hand, just to test fit it on the car, then after we'll tighten it all up.
So now that's all good and done, we need to get arts and crafty and trim the remove side off of the templates that have been provided. So just a key thing to note here is that along this template, you need to follow that along and then cut along this edge. Now, one notable thing that we're going to fix, but I've noticed with this time, is that there's no line along this edge. but essentially you're going up and following this line down. So I'm just going to get a ruler and actually continue that line across, but that's essentially what we're going to trim and remove all of that there, and the templates will then be ready for us to test. We have the templates now cut out and laid down. As you can see, you've got the arrow that points says align the top corner with the top of the boot lid. You've then got this edge here which goes along here. Obviously if I think you can see that runs along the same edge. Align this with the rear arch crease, which is all good. And then you've got the distance here, which you can measure as well, and that should be 22 centimeters roughly between the wing. And now if we grab the wing, if my assistant may help me. Cheers, Kai, thank you, mate. As you can see, bang on here as well, and here. So now that's all nicely lined up. That means that this rear wing is centered in nicely. We can now tape this template down so that it's just secure in place. Personally, I would want to keep this wing here. Ideally, you have someone with you that can help. You just want to place a bit of tape here, place a bit of tape here, and then around this back edge as well, hold them on the back sides, and then ideally you can remove the wing and then also tape these edges down. So now that's all been taped down, we can remove the wing. So now that the template's all taped up, we're going to get a hole punch, we're going to line it with this black dot, and then we're going to tap it down with the hammer.
Now you just repeat the same process on all the holes.
So next step, we're going to remove the templates, remove the boot lining, and begin drilling. Pop clips, so we're going to pop those out, get the liner off.
And once you remove all them clips, you can just pop the boot liner off just like that. Alright, so we start off with a very small drill bit. It's a lot smaller than the hole needs to be, but just to make it a bit easier for when we go with the big drill bit. So one little tip, when you do drill these, don't just fully send it and start drilling full speed. Just do it in slow little bits, just so you lower the risk of snapping the drill bit, and then you don't want the drill to go all the way through and start scratching the paint on the boot. So you don't need to apply a silly amount of pressure, literally just using the weight of the drill to go through the boot here. So we're going to now go over the 6mm drill bit just to get these holes bigger. So far we've drilled through the outer layer of the boot, but you've got this second layer of metal here which you're going to need to go through as well, which we're going to do now. Now we're just going to get through that second sheet of metal. And this is why you don't want to apply too much pressure, because if I was really pushing then it would have gone all the way through and started scratching around the hole as well, which you don't want to do. Now we're just going to repeat the same process on the other 3 holes. Just to clarify, it's only the top holes that are closer to the rear window that have the second layer, so you haven't got to worry about going through the second layer on these back 2 holes.
One thing to note, by the way, guys, you are going to have these metal shards that have been left from drilling the holes, and if you try and wipe them off with a cloth, you're just going to scratch your paint.
So now we're going to grab this hole extender and just get these holes perfect size for the drill bit, which is going to be 10mm. You want to grab your hole saw, but this one is a 22mm, just to drill out this hole. But you're only going through this inner sheet of metal, you don't want to go through the outer sheet. Make sure when you drill this 22mm hole in this inner sheet, you do not want to go through the outer sheet. Right, so a little tip would be just stuff like a cloth in there, just so if the metal does drop through, you won't have a problem getting it out. It will be caught in this cloth here.
So now the holes are done, the next big step is actually bolting the wing in place. We're going to start off by doing the bottom bolts first. Kai's going to help by holding the wing in place. I'm going to tighten the 2 bottom screws in.
So I've just grabbed my trusty assistant Sam over here, and we're just lining the wing up, so then Jack from the inside can start screwing them 4 bolts in.
Now just be really careful here, trying to get this in, because if you drop one of these bolts, it's not fun. We're going to reach round with the bolt and get that in the hole now. So the easiest way is to actually get your hand in here first. So you can get the whole hand in, reach round and just find the hole and manually turn it in. So now we've got all 4 bolts into the boot, we can now go around and start to properly tighten them. So we're going to do the 2 bottom ones first, and then we'll do the 2 top ones. Everything's tightened up. I'm going to go around and just do a once over, and then we are going to fit the boot liner. Everything inside here will then be done, and it will just be a matter of us tightening all the bolts on the outside of the wing. Just going to now get all the wing tightened up. So that brings this tutorial to an end. The wing is now finally installed. It looks absolutely amazing. I think you guys will agree. If you have any questions about the install, do feel free to comment below or just reach out to our customer service team. Their details will also be in the description of this video. But other than that, guys, enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next video.